doing?
This is Chris Warwick, and look forward to hearing from you, Chris. Thanks.
How many of you are culinary students at City College right now? First semester? Second semester? Third semester? Kendra Weiss told you to come here today? My name is Chris Warwick. I actually went here to culinary program at City College several years ago. Went through the hotel management program here at City College several years ago. Like John, I was a bodyguard for years and years and years and years and years. And I got kind of old for it. And was able to retire when I was 36 and decided I'd go to culinary school. Went to culinary school, went through the program, had a lot of jobs. Here, there, and the other place. Traveled overseas. You know, culinary school for me, the reason I want to go to culinary school was to use it as a vehicle to travel. When I was a second semester culinary student, I had an opportunity to move to Ireland for the summer, an internship in a little town called Dingle, Ireland, which is a sister city of Santa Barbara. And I went to work in their fine dining restaurant for that town. I was there and it was absolutely brilliant. Things they do in Europe they don't do here, well, outside of San Francisco. This restaurant, I was working with fish that was maybe out of the water 6 hours. We had our own vegetable garden. We had our own herb garden. You know, cows were right down the street. Kerrygold was not too far away. Living in a town that makes its own ice cream from scratch. The fat guy's paradise. I was absolutely happy. Came back, did another semester in school, and for those of you that are in a culinary program, they had at one point set up a exchange program with a culinary school in France. I had graduated. It was the first year they were going to do it, so they approached me to go ahead and go on this trip with all the culinary students. As kind of a culinary student, kind of chaperone, because I'm not a 20-year-old culinary student at this point. Went to France, was there for several weeks, drank a lot of wine, ate a lot of cheese, and once again, it was absolutely brilliant. John is much more eloquent than I am. When it comes to when I was going through school, if I could give you one piece of advice as a student, especially in this program, read everything you can read. I don't care if it's a 25-year-old Sunset magazine. There's going to be a recipe in there that is going to become your standard go-to. I've got to make dinner for somebody, or I've got a catering event. And you're going to come up with that one thing. The one thing right now that everybody and their brother is asking me for is roasted Marcona almonds in olive oil with sea salt and rosemary. It is ridiculously easy to do, and everyone thinks it's absolutely brilliant. And I'm like, it's not that hard. Come on, just heat it up, throw it in a pan. But people will pay tons of money for that because they don't know how to do it. I've now given you the recipe. Olive oil, almonds, put it in a pan, heat it up, make them hot. It's great. Everybody loves it. So there's going to be a huge run on Marcona almonds right now because everyone's going to go home and do it. Some of the places that I've worked.
How do you do the rosemary? Do you like just pull it?
Actually, yeah. What you do? Okay. Culinary students, pay attention. Take a pan, a little bit of olive oil, get it going hot. Okay. Marcona almonds, the little white ones with no stuff on the outside. Rosemary, peel it. So basically, you pull it off and it swigs like that. Run your fingers reverse, and they all pop right off. Take those, put them in the hot oil. Right as they start to turn color, throw your almonds in. Seriously, flip, 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 maybe 60 seconds. A little bit of sea salt over the top, put them in the thing, serve them hot. Everyone loves them. They're absolutely brilliant.
I'm doing that.
They sell rosemary Marcona almonds at Trader Joe's. I worked there, and I seriously just made pork chops like encrusted with that the other day. Rosemary.
Actually, that package that they come in,
yeah.
If you take it and put it in the microwave for a minute,
yeah.
and serve them hot,
money. It's
not as good as what you're going to do, but still pretty good.
Eating on pork, it's pretty good, right?
Exactly. That's what if it's pig, you're good to go.
Yeah.
When I was going through culinary school here, I worked in a deli up in the valley. Was there for several years, left that, and I started doing a lot of consulting one of the things about restaurants in Santa Barbara especially is you have all these great visions. People, if you live here long enough, you'll see a restaurant open, and you'll see it close 6 months later, and open and close 6 months later, open and close 6 months later. You know, people who have businesses for 11 years, they're the ones that have done their homework, that grind it out and do what they're supposed to do. I've made a lot of money from people in Santa Barbara who just can't figure out, I don't know why my restaurant's not working. Well, you give away way too much food, and you give away way too much alcohol to your friends. Okay, nothing's free. I don't give anything away. I've been doing this a long time. I've never given anybody anything for free. When John was talking about integrity and doing what you're supposed to be doing and being very, very passionate about what you're doing, you know, I'm 43 years old. I can remember my very first food memory. That's how much I love, that in fact I'm a 350-pound dude. I love food. I love everything about food. Okay? But if you can go back through your mind, for some of you it'll be 3 years, if, you know, but to your, when you were a kid, culinary students always crack me up because they're always so young. So I always feel so old when I'm standing in a room full of them. If you can think back to your first culinary food memory, you know, the absolute best thing you ever ate. You know, they got a TV show right now. Oh, the best thing I ever ate. I invented that show years ago, but Food Network has it now. My very first food memory is being a little kid. I'm probably 5 or 6 years old, and I'm eating a peach the size of my head. And I open it up, and the pit comes out, and I can remember eating it. And I can remember how sweet it was, how soft it was, the fact that I had dew dripping all down my arms. And I can remember eating the entire peach. I don't know how because seriously, it was that big. Those are called food memories. And I could tell you about the most perfect Oreo I ever ate. I can tell you about the most perfect everything I ever ate. Take a, for the culinary people, take a Chips Ahoy cookie. Most people take Chips Ahoy cookies and they just eat them. Okay, take a Chips Ahoy cookie and just put it on your tongue. If you can taste the coconut oil in a Chips Ahoy cookie, that's what makes Chips Ahoy cookies taste good. It's coconut oil. These are things that as a chef you've got to figure out. I love eating things and going, you know, the reason they use lavender in desserts sometimes. If you can tell it's lavender, it's way too much lavender. Lavender is one of those things that you're going to eat and you're going to go, what is that? And then they have to come tell you that it's lavender. You use too much lavender and it'll taste like soap. Anyhow. Pieces of advice. I already said, read everything you can read. Get plenty of sleep. You know, we're talking about long days. You know, I work right now for Serenity House, which is up on the Mesa. It's a hospice care facility. I'm there 12, 13 hours a day, every day. Because I love it. I'll talk more about that in a second. You want to learn how to make really, really good steaks? Burn a whole bunch of them. You want to learn how to make a really, really good piece of fish? Burn a bunch of it. You have to cook and screw up a lot of food before you figure out how to do it. Okay? When I came here to culinary school, you know, I couldn't scramble an egg to save my life. I could do all sorts of other stuff, but I never understood why my scrambled eggs were always so, you know, my pan's way too hot. That's why. These are things that you have to learn. So when he said take an hour and make some really, really good food, I wouldn't use jazz, more AC/DC, but you have to spend time doing it. First semester culinary students, is Charlie giving you that cook a protein assignment yet? No. You have to cook a protein and pay attention to what happens to a dry heat method. Okay, there's 8 dry heat methods. I did all 8 just to see what the difference between all of them were. You know, a hamburger cooked in bacon fat is a lot better than a hamburger cooked in a microwave. Okay, you got to figure these things out. Burn a lot of food. Once you get to the point where you think you know what you're doing, realize that you don't know what you're doing. There are a gazillion chefs out there, and there are a gazillion of them a lot better than I am. You know, meeting and talking to John, in the short conversation that we had, you know, I'm learning stuff from this guy. I learn from everybody I talk to. I learn from culinary students. I talk to everybody. So if you don't like people, being a chef is probably not your thing. You have to like people. Because when you become really, really good, people are going to want to talk to you. Come up with your standard answer. Oh, you're a chef? Well, what do you like to cook? You're going to ask that question 7 million times. My standard answer to that, TV dinners. That's my answer. Every time somebody asks, what do you like to cook? TV dinners. Okay, what do I eat? I eat TV dinners. I eat a lot of TV dinners. Microwave pizzas. Just because after I've cooked for 12 hours, the last thing I want to do is go home and actually make something brilliant. Usually I eat at work. Or I have my lovely wife make me something.
One-minute warning.
I'm sorry? Fantastic.
1-minute warning.
Serenity House, the job that I have now. One of the reasons I took that position, I was the culinary consultant that built out that kitchen. I told them, man, this is what you need to do, da-da-da-da. We set up their menus, this, that, and the other. This is taking it to a different level for me. I honestly believe I could work at any restaurant I want to work at in the world, okay? I might go in as a dishwasher, but I can work at any restaurant I want to in the world. Serenity House is a project where it's a hospice care facility. Those people are there for pain management and to pass away. I took that position because I love food. Food is my thing. And at end of life, there is nothing better than being able to come to somebody like me and say, my absolute favorite thing in the world is peach pie. And I can make you peach pie. I have a patient there right now. The only thing she eats is cookies. I make her cookies 3 times a day. 3 different kinds of cookies 3 times a day. When she passes away, at least I'm going to know that I gave her exactly what she wanted. As chefs, if you have a passion for it, that's how you show love, without a doubt. And you don't want to show love giving somebody Otis Spunkmeyer cookies. You want to show love making cookies from scratch, making your food from scratch, making everything from scratch. So study, get plenty of sleep, burn lots of food, and then find friends. Trust me, find friends that'll eat your food. Anybody will eat your food. So sometimes it'll be great, sometimes it won't be so great. Okay?
Thank you.
You're very welcome.